Hello, welcome to a new DEX from the Graphic Design School. My name is Anouk and this DEX is all about creating a melting effect or something that looks like it's dripping down. I'm going to apply it to the text melt, looking like an ice on a stick. But of course you can decide to apply this on a different text or a different shape. That's up to you. Make sure you've read the brief so you know the design goals, the constraints and the allocated time, and pick the level that fits you. Okay, let's go. So I have opened Adobe Illustrator and let's start. I already prepared the colors that I'm going to use over here. Let's see, just going to select all these, and when I go to swatches I can prepare a new color group. So with all these colors selected, click on new color group and we'll give it a name. Let's see, melt. Okay, so I've got all my colors in here. Then I'm gonna write the word melt. There's already something over here. We don't need that. Melt. And I'm using a big bold font. This one is called Candy. 150 points. And I'm gonna place it over here in the middle. Let's see. I'm just gonna adjust the space between the letters, the kerning. This one can move in a little bit. So you go to character, and then here you can adjust the space. I want to move it in a bit. And I'm gonna adjust the space between all of these, because it needs to become one whole. I'm probably going to adjust it later on a bit as well, but T needs to move in a little bit. I'll just do that here. Kerning. Hello. We'll do it like this. Let's see. There we go. Now it's all connected. Great. Okay. Now if you double click on that one, we can move it around. And if you hold Shift, it'll go precisely to, let's redo that. There we go, 270 degrees. Okay, so this is going to be the shape of the melting part. Now we can't change this around yet, so I'm just going to select it and we're going to make shapes out of the text. So if you go to Type and Create Outlines, now these are all shapes. We just need to ungroup them. Ungroup. And now I have 4 of these shapes that I can move around and change. I'm going to create different layers, so I'm not going to mess with one letter while I'm working on the other one. So if you go to your layers, let's see. I already created a couple of them. I created one layer for the background, which we'll do later on. I created one as a backup, so I'm going to copy this one. Copy. I'm just going to keep one original. I'm going to keep that in my backup, but I'm going to move it up to melting type. I'm going to lock that one. Paste. I'm going to hide this one. I won't be needing it. Already have my colors sorted. Okay, so we've got a layer with melting type, and I'm just going to create new layers for each of these letters. So the T is going to cut, make a new layer down here, create new layer, paste it in there. T still there? Yeah. Okay, another new layer. So this one is going to be the T. Okay, new layer. I'm going to make an L. Let's change the name. Select that one. Just going to drag it up. I think that's better, so it won't move around. Okay, another new layer. I'm going to make the E. Just this one. And I'll move that up to the E. Great. So now we need another for the M. M. This one I won't need. I'm just going to put that in a bin. Move the M up. Top. M-E-L-T. Okay, that's a good order as well. Let's start with the M. It's going to give everything a color, so I'm going to select the M, go to my swatches, going to start the light color. This one be that one. There we go. Okay, great. I'm going to use that color later on for the lollipop stick. Okay. Now I'm just going to go to my layers and I'm going to lock these. I'm only going to work on the M. So now this is all safe, and we're going to start working on this. Now I want to create drips going down and going over the E. I'm going to just arrange it a little bit. Okay. This is good. Great. There's different ways to arrange it to get these drips. Let's start by making some drips with the pen tool. So go to your pen tool, it's P. I'm just going to make one first. I'm going to make one here. Something went wrong there. Got my first drip, which is way too big, but I can easily adjust that. I'm just going to see what it looks like. Place it somewhere there, and I also want a drip that goes from the side over to this side. Just going to use that one as a starter, copy paste. Let's see. We'll have to adjust it. I'm just zooming in a bit so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to go to my direct selection tool. I need to adjust all these things moving outside of the shape. Okay. A little bit. Let's see, how does that look? It's pretty good. Maybe a bit lower. I'll make it a bit bigger, my selection tool. Move it out a little bit. We can also make a little drip. Let's see. looks a bit funny. Let's adjust it. I might just do that differently. Let's go and this shape. Well, this one can go here. Make it a lot smaller. Like that. Cool. We can also just make one by color. Let's see how that looks. And then with the direct selection tool, adjust the look of that one. I think that's much better. So I'll move that one away and use that one. It's going to make it a bit smaller. Okay. Again, I need it to be smaller. It's a tiny little trip. Okay, great. Now another way to change this into this melting look, besides using creating these shapes, is to go here to your warp tool. If it's not there yet, for example, if it's still on this one, just use your mouse and go to the warp tool. You can see it's the circle here. That's going to be the size that you're going to warp. I'll show you. So if you go over the lines, you're warping it out. But if it's too large or you want to adjust the way it looks, just double click. And here you can adjust the settings. So let's make it a little bit smaller, for example. Here you can adjust the detail, so lots of detail, but now simplify the shape. Okay. And now here you can see it's a lot smaller. You can adjust it, minor details. It's not what I was looking for, so I'm just going to undo, Command C. And also here, if you press Alt and you drag your mouse out, you can also adjust the size. I don't want any straight corners, I'm just going to adjust it a little bit. Okay, so there we go. And also here we can adjust the lines. Might just do that. Just going to use the tool, warp tool. Just don't want it to be too straight as it's supposed to be melting. So it can go down a little bit. Maybe just these corners, and here it could go down. So step by step you start adjusting the shape of your letters to give it that melting look. Let's zoom out a little bit. There's too many corners, it still doesn't look great, so I'm going to go back to my warp tool and make it a bit bigger. Press Alt. Yeah, that's better. Just gonna adjust this corner here. Gonna delete this point. It's better. Go to my warp tool. Okay, here's a little corner that I still don't like. Great. Well, we might just give a little drop here. Just gonna copy and paste that one in. See what happens. Okay. There's just one corner here. Direct selection tool. Zoom in. Make it round a little bit. Okay. Great. So that's the first letter. So we can adjust later on when we're fine-tuning everything, but just for now I'm going to lock the M and I'm going to continue with the E. I'm going to do the same process, so I will continue and come back to you later, speed things up a little bit and come back to you later. Okay. So, I've created all the shapes for these letters and gave them this dripping look and changed the lines a little bit using the warp tool. Now we're gonna combine all these shapes into one shape. So I'm just gonna go to my layers. You can see I've worked my way through all the letters. So I'm going to unlock the T. I'm gonna start with the M. And there's all these little shapes, and I just want to make these into one. So if I select all of them on this layer, I'm going to go to Pathfinder, and if you go to shape modes, here's Unite, and now it's all one shape. And I'm going to do the exact same with all these. I'm going to go to Layers, to the E, select everything, go to Pathfinder, Unite. And I'm gonna do the same for the L and the T. There we go. See, now I'm gonna create a new shape. I'm just gonna create a new layer for that as well. So let's move that one up. I want it to be below the T. Call that the stick. Okay. And I'll do that with the shape, rounded rectangle tool. Here we go. I'm gonna give that a light color. Place it here. Great. Go to my layers. Now I'm going to select all these shapes and give it some shadow to give it some depth. So I'm going to go to Effect, Stylize, Drop Shadow. I'm going to put Preview on so I can see what's going on. Put it around 25. Offset 0.5 millimeters. The blur. I think it looks good. Let's take a look. I think it's enough. It shouldn't be too much. Just a little bit. Okay. Great. I'm just going to adjust this little point there. It's a bit too pointy. Okay. There we go. Okay, so we've got our first bit, which looks great. Okay, now what I want to do is add some lines to give that sense of light reflection. Let's do that with a brush, and we can create our own brush. Basic brush, just gonna load it on this layer. I'm just gonna lock this for now, and let's create a brush. First I'm gonna create the shape, so this color will adjust later. This one I'm gonna delete, and that one I'm gonna delete. Adjust that point a little bit. Okay. Maybe drag that one out. a little bit. I think that's good. Want it to be really, really light. I'll give it, make it white. Go to my swatches. Make it white. Select it. Go to my brushes, and then go here. New brush. Art brush. Okay. Art brush. We'll name this light reflection. Width fixed, scale to fit stroke length, that's what I want, and method is none, because we want it to be white. Okay, so here it is, here it goes. I think it's going to be too big. Just going to delete, oh sorry, I'm just going to drag, not delete it, I'm just going to keep it for now, but drag it to the side, deselect it. If I go to my brush and select it, I'm just going to see that's way too big, so I'm just going to adjust it, double click on it, and I'm going to adjust the width to a lot, probably 20%. Let's see, apply to stroke. Maybe more. Put it on 10. Apply to strokes. Let's see what happens. Just gonna delete these. Go to my drips. Okay. Brush tool, select that one. And let's see how it goes. The size for these bigger drips is fine. Command Z if you're not happy with it. Now this is really tiny, so I'm just going to adjust it. You can also do it here if you go to stroke, and we're just going to put it on 025. Undo. Great. Here's a little one as well. You can use that thin stroke. So I will continue doing this on all the drips. Okay, now I think the white is a bit too white, so I'm just gonna select all these. You can quickly do that by selecting one and then go to select, then go to same, and then same, go to same fill color, and it'll grab all those white filled lines. And I'm gonna put that, go here to transparency. If it's not over here, transparency, you can also find it here on window. Transparency. I'm gonna multiply. See if that's good. No, it's not good. Undo. Just use the opacity to adjust it. I think that's much better. It's not that harsh. This one can go to normal. Okay. So we have our melt ice cream ready. Let's create a background. I'm just gonna go to my layers. I'm gonna lock the ice cream and I'm gonna work in my background. Let's make a square. Great. Still white. I'm gonna give it a gradient. It's gonna use the colors that we've been using before. Go to gradients. Look, there's already something from the preparations that I've done. So I'm just going to show you what's going on here. There's a gradient and it's using all the colors from our palette. So that's this one. So there's 5 colors. This one. This one. This should be that one. The purple one. And the blue one is there, so from the lighter to the darker colors. And for example, if you want to drag one out, you can just drag one out. And if you want to add one, you can see the little plus sign here and here. And then you can adjust the color by double clicking on it. And so this one should be there. And if it turns white, you're working on it, that one should be this one. Okay, so I've got them back, and then I'm moving them around a little bit. You can also adjust the spacing here if it's white. Drag it from there to there, so where the color change is, where the middle of the color change is. Okay, I'm going to adjust the angle. No. Yes, that's what I was looking for. Okay, I'm going to move that to the side. Now this is the gradient that I was looking for, but it's too bright and too strong. I want to adjust that. I'm just going to do that by creating another square. I'm just going to make one here. Oh, the same size. Make it white. To my selection tool, and I'm going to drag it on top of my gradient square. Great. I'm going to select both. I'm going to go to transparency. I'm going to put normal to multiply, and then I'm going to adjust the opacity to, I think, around 45, 50. Let's see, I think 50 is great. Yeah. So now it's a very lightened version of the gradient, which I think works better with the ice cream on top. So now we have prepared our background. Let's go to our layers and lock the background. Okay. Now we could stop here. We can also add, if you want to, a shadow from the melt. Therefore we need to unlock the ice cream. And I'm going to make a copy, Command C. I'm going to lock the ice cream again. And I'm going to create a new layer for the shadow. Enter. Shadow is going to go behind my ice cream. So there we go. Make sure that one is selected. Command V, copy paste it in. So this one I'm going to use for the shadow. I'm going to go to Pathfinder, go to shape modes and make one shape out of this. Then I'm going to go and give it a gradient fill. So that one is going to be very different. I'm going to drag these out. See, it's going to go, oh, go away, double click. Go from a gray Well, we could use the blue. Let's go from a blue to white. I'm going to adjust the blue and make it a lot lighter. And let's use the same blue that we've used before. Okay. Let's drag it out. I'm going to adjust the gradient later on because it's not what I was looking for yet. Oh, and I see it has a line. It doesn't. So I'm going to remove the white line. I'm going to drag the shadow behind. So it's like the sunshine coming from there, and it's going to be a slim but very tall, long shadow. Okay. Now I'm going to adjust the gradient. We're just going to go from a little bit darker to like fading out. If you go here, gradient tool, click on it. So I'm going to use this bar to adjust so I can see what's going on. If you go on over the little square, you can drag it in, drag it out, and just around it you can adjust the way it goes, the direction it goes. So for now I'm just gonna, I want the darker side on this side and get it lighter there. Now let's see how that looks. Go back to the bar. Just gonna adjust the color. I want it to be even lighter. Okay, great. Yes. I'm gonna select it. Go to transparency. And let's see if I make it multiply. Yes, that's much better. So now you can see this shadow. A little bit darker here, more light there. And I might just drag it out so it extends the line of the square. Great. Put that one down a little bit. Let's see. Move it in. Perfect. Great. Now there's just one other thing that I wanted to show you, and that's how to apply this watercolor effect to your ice cream, your melting ice cream. I just picked these from the internet, some free downloads that I'm going to use, and I chose these because they somehow match a little bit the colors that I used here. So how do we do that? I created a new layer that I called water paints, just hide the other ones for now, and I copied my lollipop in there. So we've got the path, all these elements from my ice cream in here, and I've got my watercolors. Now what you do, I'm going to use this one on the M, so I'm just going to select the M, which is here, and I'm going to make sure that this one is big enough to cover the whole M. Okay, that's big enough. And this one, the M, I'm gonna copy and Command F, paste in front, so you can see two M's here. And this one is here, I'm gonna put in between. So let's move it over there. Okay. Now I'm gonna select the M and my watercolor, both. Right mouse click, make a clipping mask. And there we go. Now I'm just gonna select, because I still have my M here, I'm gonna select both, the clipping mask I just made and the M, and I'm gonna go to transparency and then press overlay. And that combines the two of them. So think it has a nice color effect. Let's do the same on these, and once I'm done I'll be back. So I have added this watercolor fill to the other letters as well. With this as the end result, and also here of course you could then add some light reflections like we've done before. So I think the brush is still there. Yeah, let's see. So you could do that here as well, like we've done before. You could add a shadow and a background and play around with that as well. So now it's time for you guys to get to work. Good luck with designing your own melting thing. Don't forget to upload your work so we can have a look and also put it on display on our website. Okay, good luck. Bye.